The road to democracy is not easy. It has to be shaped and formed in a free democratic spirit. Just one or two elections may not be sufficient. So we have to work together. That's the main theme which I really want to share with you today. This is once in a generational opportunity. That is why I have put this issue, helping those countries in transition, as one of the top priorities of my term, a second term as the Secretary General of the United Nations. Israel, the United Nations, and the entire international community should unite in this effort. As I see, there is no eye in this sea of geopolitical storms. There is no untouched safe haven, no land of calm. We all recognize that Israel has a special security challenges, concerns. I fully agree, and I have been speaking out all the times that Israel has a legitimate security concerns. That is why, as a Secretary General, I have spoken out loudly and repeatedly against anti-Semitism and anti-Israel hate speeches. And again, I have condemned those who deny the existence, the Holocaust. I have stood firm against terrorist attacks and defended Israel strongly in world bodies where it has been singled out. The United Nations helped to bring the state of Israel into this world. It did so in the name of peace, not war. Yet the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is entering its 7th decade. The current peace process began in Madrid more than 20 years ago. It raised high hopes, but delivered 2 decades of delay, mistrust, and missed opportunities. A succession of failed peace talks created a climate of mistrust. So-called rejectionists gained strength. Many have come to question the very basis of the peace process, Land for Peace. And yet we have come close. Civil society initiatives have shown that the gaps can be bridged, that differences are not beyond the ability of people of goodwill to resolve. And recent years have brought another welcome and positive development. The emergence of a credible Palestinian partner serving its people, and I suggest challenging Israel to rethink some of its assumptions. For Palestinians, the borders of a future state based on the 1967 lines with agreed swaps of territory are the essence of viability. It is not surprising, therefore, that growing numbers of Palestinians see what is happening elsewhere in the region and are coming to support popular, non-violent action of Palestinian Spring, some call it. They can also be expected to take their case for statehood to the United Nations and its various funds and programs, as they have already with UNESCO. All of us here today understand Israel's very real security concerns. I saw for myself the terrible effects of the rocket attacks out of Gaza at Sapir College, only 3 kilometers from the border. We must work together to stop the smuggling of weapons into Gaza. We must strengthen the institutions of mutual security in the West Bank, and we must promote a culture of tolerance and mutual acceptance in both Israel and the occupied Palestinian territory. In these circumstances, Israel must think carefully about how to empower those on the other side who wish for peace. Now is the moment for demonstration of goodwill by both sides. There is much Israel can do by opening Gaza to construction materials. For example, I thank Minister Barak for his flexibility. Each time, whenever I have spoken with him, he has been quite generous and flexible in granting permissions for all these construction materials to flow in, to be imported. I have seen today in Khan Yunis, many apartment and building units being constructed. I have seen a lot of changes there. But what I'm asking you is to do more, to enable all those Palestinian people to live in a more comfortable circumstances. For people to live normal lives, they have to have schools, decent housing, and health care. There has to be an economy with jobs and free flow of commerce. Palestinian poverty is not Israel's friend. Ladies and gentlemen, our highest priority must be to return to negotiations.